At age 13, Jonathan Murphy was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome on the autism spectrum. Autism is the fastest growing developmental disability in the world. With a variety of learning disabilities and obsessive compulsive behaviors, Jonathan was different, and he was bullied in school. This led him to cultivate a rich inner life, which, along with a life-changing discovery, eventually proved to have a very silver lining. He's now a successful voice-over actor. Having earned his coveted Actors Union card, he lists among his credits the voiceover for Great America and the voices of many other characters on apps, video games, toys, and audiobooks. But his most important voice is the voice of hope and optimism for children on the autism spectrum and their parents. He gives presentations in assemblies, conferences, and webisodes for students, parents, teachers, and other professionals. He also works for Parka Reach, an integrated child care program working with kids on and off the spectrum.
One thing about people on the spectrum is that a lot of us tend to hold in a lot of information in our heads, and we can tell you everything we can about one particular subject that we're very interested in. And I liked to act out my own scenarios, my own stories, and I would play the characters. For me, it was like an episode of a TV series that was going on inside my brain. The thing was, though, that I had to learn is that while what I was doing was making sense to me in my head, to people who were looking at it, it may have seemed a little odd.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But I think that sort of helped fuel my creative side.
At age 13, your parents were wondering, is something going on? And you received your diagnosis. What was your and your family's reaction, and how did that change things for you?
Instead of being devastated, it was more like, oh, that makes sense.
So you were relieved.
It wasn't more of a relief. It wasn't so much of a relief as it was a moment of clarity. That I finally got it. And I think one thing I can take away from this is knowledge. Having the knowledge of my disability and or the knowledge of what I was capable of, what were my challenges, what were my challenges, what were my limits, that helped me, and I could sort of look back and say, oh, this is why I do things, and I can use this as an advantage. People with Asperger's, it's part of the autism spectrum, and it's the inability to read social cues, the inability to kind of look you in the eye and to read these sort of to socialize with people. It's very hard. I sort of learned how to study things by watching people do it on television. In fact, every kind of conversation or the way I talk is from watching people on television. And that when I look at things and stuff, I kind of take that in and I imitate them, which is how it's sort of helped me with my my acting abilities. When I discovered that I could do acting, it made a big difference in my life. I found out that I could go to college because of it, that I could have a career because of it. And it was something that I was good at, I enjoyed doing. And that's a big key thing is, finding what you're good at, finding what you enjoy. When I started doing theater, the positive response that I got from that was life-changing for me. I was making people laugh. I was holding their attention, and I had them, and not because they were laughing at me and what I was doing, but they were laughing at me they were laughing with me.
With you.
Yeah, with me in the way that I was doing, and I had them all.
It is that I am also Left-handed!
I think there's a big kind of fear in the for people on the spectrum, whether it's, you know, you're afraid that if your child is autistic or has autism, that's it. You know, they won't be able to really amount to anything, or they'll need, like, they won't be able to live independently, which is not true. I was afraid of failure at first, like most people are. Everyone, no one likes to fail, but I finally just accepted the fact that failure is kind of part of life, and maybe it's because I faced a lot of rejection as an actor, and you know, it's not always my fault. Things are just going to happen. Things are just not going to work out, and you got to accept that. But I think it's the fear that really kind of drives people, and I think if we can get over that and say that there's nothing really to be afraid of. We're different, but that's not a bad thing. In fact, it can be a good thing. Some of the most brilliant people in history may be on the spectrum. Many people think that, like, Albert Einstein could have been on the spectrum, and it certainly fits.
Yeah. Do you know someone who has overcome significant hardship and has an inspiring story to tell? Someone who has sacrificed or given over and above to the community and deserves some recognition? If so, please contact us with your nomination for next year's Local Hero Awards. To find out more about our local heroes and to watch interviews with all the winners, visit our website, midpennmedia.org. At the Mid-Penn Community Media Center, you can make your own videos and television programs and take classes in all aspects of media production. You can also hire our professional services team. To find out more about that, go to mcproservices.com. Congratulations to all our winners, and thank you for watching.